Hi there! Welcome to Switch Mania. I am Clarence and we'll talk about the best Nintendo Switch games on sale. We will be covering the UK, EU, US, Australia, and Canada eShop. But first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see more of this series, please leave a like, remember to subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to receive future notifications. Likes and subscriptions help keep the channel alive. First on our list is the Jackbox Party Pack 5. Jackbox Party Pack 5 is an excellent addition to the series. The Zipple Dome is a bad experiment that doesn't quite work, but the rest of the set more than makes up for it. Patently Stupid is worth the price of admission on its own, but there's so much more to love in this pack that you'll be playing it with friends for months. It's easy to recommend because it has clever ideas, excellent presentation, and numerous amusing moments. Don't pass this up. This is a nice selection of games that anyone would enjoy having at a party. Jackbox games can be hit or miss at times, but this one is undeniably one of the best and will keep you all entertained for hours. There are numerous games to choose from and each one feels distinct enough to warrant a try. You'll get more use out of it as you have more people over, but even if you only use it once in a while, it's still worth having. Next is Toki Tori 2 Plus. Toki Tori 2 Plus Nintendo Switch Edition is the best version of the series' second game. There isn't much that can prevent a player from spending many enjoyable, fun, and engaging hours with this game. It has a beautiful art style and soundtrack, a long life, game improvements, and a gradual increase in difficulty. Anyone who owns a Nintendo Switch should definitely get this game. The additions and improvements made it to the Switch version make it the most complete and enjoyable way to play it. This game would be an excellent addition to any puzzle fan's library. Toki Tori 2 is a great little game to play over and over again, not only because of the format, but also because it's nearly impossible to forget how it plays and how Toki Tori moves. Next up, RIVE Ultimate Edition. From start to finish, RIVE Ultimate Edition features intense twin-stick action. It's easy to lump it in with games like Cinemora X because it's so difficult that it's so good. There are numerous ways to play it, so it's difficult to find a better game like this on Switch right now. This is the best version of an already fantastic game. It has a fantastic art, better performance than the PS4 version, and a fantastic soundtrack by Sonic Picnic. It's also the most complete version available for play anywhere. This makes it even more difficult to believe that two tribes no longer exist. RIVE is a smooth and addictive game that keeps players' attention from start to finish and that everyone should play. It has a beautiful audiovisual component, challenging gameplay, and a level of difficulty that requires players to give their all to win. Next up, Toki Tori. This is a back-to-basics side-scrolling puzzle game that will captivate players with its fun gameplay and well-designed levels, and then test even the most devoted players with its later challenges. The balance is perfect, and it keeps your brain working hard throughout. It is both inventive and endearing. Toki Tori is a fantastic puzzle game for the Nintendo Switch. The difficulty gradually increases, and the puzzles will force you to think of solutions that do not appear obvious. Both the wildcard and rewind functions are beneficial to both new and experienced players. Toki Tori is a fantastic platform game that will appeal to both children and adults of all ages. It's entertaining to play and solve all of the puzzles, some of which are simple and some of which are difficult. Next is Figment. Figment is a stunning puzzle adventure action game that ranks among the best independent titles on Switch. Because of its beautiful storybook style graphics, sweeping music, fun puzzles, and thought-provoking plot, Figment is a must-play game. Pacing, humor, and creativity are all excellent, and everything is set up for a powerful and memorable conclusion. It looks great on the Switch, both in handheld and dock mode, and each scene has beautiful art that really stands out. The music, on the other hand, stands out above all else. Each boss is accompanied by a song, and every song in the game is catchy and has great lyrics that complement the rest of Figment's writing. I really enjoy this game, and since it's portable, I believe you should play it right away. If you enjoy good art and design and enjoy solving puzzles, don't hesitate to purchase Figment. You will not be sorry. Next up, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. The fact that Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection provides a comprehensive look at Street Fighter 2, 3, and the alpha version is reason enough to recommend it, but the fact that it is presented so well makes it almost a must-have for fighting game fans. This is everything a Street Fighter fan could want, thanks to the Switch's portability and the ability to play with other people while on the go. The Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is more than just a collection collection of games. It is also a celebration of Street Fighter's 30th anniversary. This could be one of the best game collections ever created. It includes 12 games, including some of the series' most well-known, as well as a fun local multiplayer mode and a well-designed online multiplayer mode. The Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection is an excellent way to commemorate a significant milestone in the series' history. The games are still as entertaining as they have always been, and the addition of online multiplayer will keep you coming back for years to come. Next is Resident Evil 4. Don't put it off if you haven't played Resident Evil 4 in the last decade. Resident Evil 4's dark, unsettling setting, gun progression, and amazing action and horror gameplay keep me interested even in 2023. It forever altered the action-adventure genre, and for the most part, it has stood the test of time. Resident Evil 4 is still a classic, despite the fact that it is old and adds nothing new to the ports that came before it. From the terrifying beginning to the final escape, it's a ride that most AAA single-player campaigns only wish they could be. This game is a video game industry legend due to its great story, level and character design, art direction, and some of the best shooting mechanics ever created. Resident Evil 4 should be in the library of every Switch owner. Next up, Mega Man X Legacy Collection. The Mega Man X Legacy Collection contains 4 of the best platform games ever created. They are timeless classics, especially the first, which is one of the best platform games ever made. For new players, the new Rookie Hunter mode makes this collection a great place to start, while veterans will enjoy the new challenges and bonus content. If you even remotely enjoy platform games, you should purchase this collection. Mega Man X Legacy Collection is more than just a collection of faithful ports of new hardware. It's also a collection of some of the best Mega Man games, complete with extras and love. Medals are a great way to encourage players to fully explore each game, and X Challenge is entertaining even if it isn't always well organized. People who have never played a Mega Man X game should start here. Next is Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 is a good collection, but some games are missing. Capcom is working hard to bring back some of the best Mega Man games. These games will have new features to make them easier for new players, but they will also be as difficult for the most experienced players as they were previously. In short, this is a collection that every series fan should have, even if it could be better. Overall, it should come as no surprise that Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 is an excellent way to conclude the original story. It wouldn't surprise me if the newer generation of gamers preferred this one over the first because the graphics are better and Capcom changed the formula in more daring ways. If I couldn't have both, I'd go with the original collection, but I'm in my mid-30s and grew up with them, so that's a given. Next up, Shinsekai Into the Depths. The best thing we can say about Shinsekai Into the Depths is that it feels like a well-made indie game. Exploration is the game's main draw because the environments, secrets, and floaty movements makes it enjoyable to look around. Combat works most of the time, but it isn't the game's main focus. There's a good balance between exploring at your own pace, maintaining your stats to stay alive, boss fights, and the fact that your resources diminish as the game progresses. Even if the extras aren't enough to convince Apple or subscribers to buy the game twice, everyone else will enjoy it from beginning to end. Shinsekai could have been a true classic if it had been more willing to embrace what makes it unique and remove some elements that appear to be there to check something off a list. Even with what we have, the game is fantastic platformer with a distinct and eerie atmosphere. Shinsekai is still worth a look, even if it could have been better. Next is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles demonstrates not only why the series as a whole is so popular, but it also demonstrates that video games can be much more than just a way to kill time. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is a game that combines elements of a book and an interactive game. It leads players through case after case, each one filled with interesting characters, stories, and clever brain teasers. Even if not everyone enjoys adventure games or visual novels, this is the game to play if you want to give them a try for the first time or revisit them. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is a lot of fun to play. All of this culminates in a finale that neatly ties everything together, and even in comparison to what came before, simply blows your mind with how daring the people and things you're up against are. Next is Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. This collection of games is not only historically significant, it is also a lot of fun. Fans of the genre and newcomers alike should give it a shot, especially with the games that are being released for the first time on home consoles. This collection explains why this type of video game was so popular in the late 1980s and early 1990s. All 7 games in this collection are worth your time because they are entertaining, addictive, and perhaps most importantly, enjoyable to play with friends. Capcom has done everything possible to ensure that a whole new generation of gamers will enjoy them by providing strong local and online support. If you don't like this type of game, you might be wondering what the big deal is, but for everyone else, this is a must-have. Next up, Resident Evil Revelations. Nobody can deny that this game is excellent. It has a good story mode as well as an amazing online mode that will keep you entertained for 100 of hours. Resident Evil Revelations is the Nintendo system's third version of this game. Whether you buy it or not depends on whether you want to play it again or this is your first time. Players who have never played this game before should not hesitate because this is most likely the best way to play it. Potential double or triple dippers should simply consider what they want. The older systems are unlikely to support the online mode for much longer, and the Switch is the best way to play it, with the exception that you can talk to people you meet in the game. But there's no denying how good raid mode is, so those who can't help but want more of it on the latest system shouldn't feel bad. It's a lot of fun to blow up oozes. Just a quick reminder, 85% of you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you are enjoying the videos and not subscribed yet, why not? You're coming back anyways. Next is Mega Man Legacy Collection. Despite the fact that the two Legacy Collections go together like crackers and cheese, the Mega Man Legacy Collection is far more organized. It feels more complete because all 6 games were released on the same console. It also has a nostalgic hook that most NES fans are more familiar with. The most important feature for me was the Turbo Mode, which was absent from the majority of other console versions. Mega Man Legacy Collection is a comprehensive homage to the classic NES series. It includes 6 games and a slew of new challenges. The Mega Man Legacy Collection on the Switch is the best game I've played so far, with more challenges, a rewind button, and some of the best NES emulation I've ever seen. This collection is unquestionably essential. Next is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy brings 3 of Capcom's best games to the Switch, and you should play them all if you haven't already. Although the port itself may have been improved, longtime fans may be only interested in this because it allows them to play old games on a modern platform. Because it's been a while since the first Phoenix Wright games were released, this is a fantastic opportunity to relieve the excitement of each case. Furthermore, the new presentation of the games is done so well that it feels like a completely new set of games. Overall, the Switch port is nearly everything I was looking for in a new port. Almost the entire game runs and looks fantastic, and it makes excellent use of the Switch's hardware. Capcom should have included some extras such as trailers or galleries like they did with the Mega Man ports. You should get these games for Switch if you've never played them before. Next up, Resident Evil. Resident Evil's flaws are just as visible as they were in 2002. The game's controls, cameras, and item handling all make it difficult to play. Even with these flaws, Resident Evil remains a classic. No other survival horror game has succeeded in creating as much tension as Resident Evil. If you've played any version of Resident Evil over the past 2 decades, you know what to expect. It's one of the scariest games ever created. The fact that the game can be played on the go is just the cherry on top. One of the first horror survival games was Resident Evil. Its eerie sound effects and beautiful settings makes it a must-see for anyone curious about the origins of the horror genre. If you like scary games, don't mind some old school game mechanics, and haven't played any of the previous Resident Evil games, you owe it to yourself to try this one. Next is Huntdown. Huntdown should be commended for remaining true to its clear vision throughout. The gameplay is enjoyable on its own, but the way it combines the feel of a dirty, chaotic city with a vision of the future that appears to be straight out of the 1980s makes it feel both old-fashioned and modern. It is consistent with the growing number of cyberpunk-themed games. Huntdown foresaw this trend and knew how to make a fun shooter, making it one of the most complete indie games for the Switch to date. Huntdown is a neon-lit demonstration of how to create a modernized version of a classic game. You'll come for the highly stylized 16-bit aesthetic, but you'll stay for the authentic arcade-style gameplay, funny comedic undertones, and one-of-a-kind boss fights. Huntdown is a great game in its genre, despite the fact that it came out a long time after its predecessors. Next is Just Dance 2023 edition. Just Dance 2023 is the best Just Dance game yet, which isn't surprising given how simple the concept is and how long the franchise has been around. This is still the same simple party game it always has been, but it has a good track list, some beautiful graphics, and the promise of more content in the future, making it worthwhile to purchase for anyone who enjoys dancing. Just Dance 2023 edition could be an improvement on the Dance series' previous iterations. Many people are put off by the fact that relying on a connection necessitates constant connectivity. Nonetheless, it's a good dance game with a new interface, customization options, and multiplayer mode. Just Dance 2023 edition marks the beginning of a new chapter in the Just Dance series. It contains the same elements as before, but it also contains some new ideas that will help future editions be better. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is great and fun, with just the right amount of chaos, thanks to the Rabbids touch. I can't think of a single time when I was bored or didn't understand what was going on because the people who made the game spent as much time and care on the jokes as they did on the gameplay. This is an excellent way for people of all ages to become acquainted with the tactics genre, and it demonstrates how unique and beautiful collaborations can be. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a highly skilled tactical role-playing game. It's brightly colored and stylish. This game is ideal if you want a fun adventure in the style of the Mario plus Luigi series. It has amazing gameplay that never gets old, as well as beautiful environments and music to look at and listen to. Sparks of Hope compensates for its lack of challenge with pure fun and will keep you coming back for more. The amount of polish and work put into this game is incredible, which is why you should play it. Next is It Takes Two. On the Nintendo Switch, It Takes Two gets its most complete and user-friendly version yet. The game can now be played in new languages and taken with you wherever you go. So despite the fact that the graphics aren't as good as they could be, we're still pleased with what could be one of the best multiplayer games ever created. It Takes Two can bring two people together and make them feel a variety of emotions. It accomplishes this by telling a beautiful story of love and heartbreak in an easy to understand and humorous manner. Haze Light demonstrate that they could handle all of the console's technical challenges by creating an excellent version of the game. It Takes Two is a must-have co-op work that goes beyond the usual boundaries of co-op gaming to explore the fundamentals of human relationship. The game will captivate its players with a variety of vast worlds to explore, creative and varied gameplay, and an experience that is accessible even to those who never played a video game before. Next is Trine 2 Complete Story. Trine 2 is one of the best video games ever made, and this Complete Story edition is the best way to play it so far, especially considering the Switch portability. This game is a must-have if you enjoy 2D puzzle platformers. Its art style remains beautiful as it ages, and the controls and gameplay are flawless. Now that this goal has been met, all that remains is for everyone to get their hands on it. Trine 2 Complete Story stands out for how beautiful it looks and sounds, as well as how intriguing its characters are. It's a lengthy fantasy story that can be enjoyed alone or with others. We can have even more fun with it if we do more challenges. Next up, Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince. Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince is without a doubt one of the best puzzle platformer games ever created. It has a lot of charm, is entertaining to play, and has some decent puzzles. Combat leaves a lot to be desired and can be unbearable at times, but it's a small price to pay for how amazing the rest of the game is. Frozen Byte has returned the series to its roots with Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince, making puzzles that change over time the main draw. The Switch's controls are tight, and the basic button layout and controls feels natural. This game has so many fun and challenging puzzles that it's worth buying just to keep your brain busy. Despite the fact that the story and action aren't as deep as they could be and that I got lost in the puzzles, I thought this was one of the best Switch games I'd played. Next is Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. Wings of Ruin is a fantastic game that you should play. When the first Stories game was released, I didn't pay much attention to it. I was aware of it, but I never had the opportunity to play it. This game almost screamed at me and play it, and I obliged. Despite what it may appear to be at first glance, this game isn't just for Monster Hunter fans. It's a fantastic role-playing game with engaging gameplay, a high level of polish, and an overall enjoyable experience. Everyone who owns a Switch should have this game in their collection. Even if Monster Hunter isn't usually your thing, this game has a good chance of capturing and holding your attention. Next up, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Purchasing Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is analogous to purchasing a vinyl record of your favorite album. It's a little old and specialized, and to be honest, newer versions are more user-friendly and accessible. But there's love there, and it's very good at what it does. Despite the fact that the series is expanding to other platforms, this is the classic formula reduced to a version that can be played at home on a 40-inch TV or on the bus. You can play it alone or with friends to assist you with the more difficult G rank quests. It's never been more difficult to be a hunter, but it's also never been more rewarding if you stick with it. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is without a doubt one of the series' best games. It adds a lot of content without overwhelming the game, and the gameplay is more varied than ever, with plenty to do at every step. Next is Unbound Worlds Apart. Unbound Worlds Apart is a fantastic looking and sounding game with the central gameplay hook that keep players on their toes. Furthermore, a loose checkpoint system makes even the most difficult parts seem less frightening. Even if the Nintendo Switch version has a few bugs and the story isn't great, it's still worth a look. This is a fantastic Metroidvania. As long as the occasional difficulty spike does not stress you out, the music is nice and relaxing, and the graphics and animation are great. There are a few hiccups in performance and a few try and see parts that can be annoying on the Switch version, but they don't change my overall opinion of the game. If you enjoy Metroidvania style games, you should try Unbound Worlds Apart. Unbound Worlds Apart combines stunning graphics and animation with puzzle platformer challenges that employ a variety of novel mechanics to create a lengthy and exciting story. And last but not the least, Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 represents not only a return to form for the series, but also a natural progression of Mega Man's roots, allowing the series to finally move into the next generation. The series has undergone some much needed and welcome changes in terms of how it looks and plays. The art style is polished and charming, but it still has an old school feel to it. The platformer's tight level design complements the new double gear system perfectly. Mega Man 11 is a fantastic blend of the old and new. It pays homage to the past while never losing sight of the future. Fans will enjoy the classic gameplay, and the new mechanics will make the game more challenging. Despite the fact that the plot is the same as in previous games in the series, Mega Man 11 is everything I've wanted from Capcom and the Blue Bomber in recent years. That's all guys, I hope this video was helpful in deciding which game to play. And thank you for checking out the list. Please remember to subscribe and we'll see you at the next one.